Shame upon this man. This man right here arrived late to the All-Stars. He made it all run behind now. Actually, we should be proud of that. That means that we get even more live series covered. What is up, one and all? Welcome back to the Midweek Muster. Midweek Muster All-Stars at that. We are here in round 2, best of 3s, and the first round already delivering some bangers. Louis MT with a 2-1 victory. Puppy Paw losing 2-1 to Kiljardi, but Wham tried, true, and trusted with his 2-0. The only person to 2-0 so far. Can he do it to Louis? Let's find out. We open up with Chinese versus HRE on Dry Arabia. Interesting matchup. On Dry Arabia in particular, I mean, Spawn's going to matter a lot here. Double deer forward spawn is a bit rough for Louis. If he plays Pro Scouts, though, there is a way you can hunker down. I feel like we're probably going to see him hunkering down here. Are all the series being casted or only some? Only some. Because you have to remember, we are going to have, in total, 15 series happening. Right? So we're going to be doing 1 to 2 series per round, yes. Which is still a substantial amount of games. That's still potentially 15 games casted on this channel. Right? Like, we are in round 2, and we're already almost 3 hours into the broadcast. You're definitely getting your bang for buck. Yeah, HRE, man. Like, I'm kind of surprised HRE snuck through with the map pool they went with, right? Because they went with Dry Arabia. I think I said Scarguard was in there. And then, what was the final map we were talking about? Hill and Dale. I guess Hill and Dale really isn't a crazy map for HRE anymore. Traditionally, it was. But they have a different style now. But just as a good open on Dry Arabia, right? Louis MT on Chinese is going to be kind of interesting. Like I said, with this spawn, probably Pro Scouts. Then, do you try and play the Age? My feelings is no. I think HRE's economy is just good enough to overcome your taxmen in the early phase. There's also a scary reality that if you get baited into playing H2, your opponent's just going to skip to H3. Something that HRE are just infamously and historically good at. Narkin coming in. Talk about a good one as well. Double tree line here. So gets on the initial, is going to be able to trim into the secondary, which is plenty of wood buff, which means we could be seeing an opening into archers here. Imperial Academy on the other side is just bread and butter. I don't know how I feel at this point about Imperial Academy. I mean, people who've watched my videos for a while know how I feel. I've been pretty free with my feelings about it. That it's OP. It's like... It's a really good landmark. I think I want to say it's top 3 feudal landmarks in the game. The problem is, like, if you nerf this or buff the alternative, you now have one of the defensive landmarks taking over. And I think if there's something we can agree on, it's that as the meta has shifted away from defensive landmarks, the meta has improved. Okay, would we all agree on that? Right? Like, as things like Barbican and Kremlin have fallen off, I almost feel like the game has improved from a playing standpoint. And yes, Arkham will be better than Imperial Academy. It varies on what you can do with them. There's definitely some peak timings Imperial Academy has that like Arkan struggle to compete with. But yeah, like notice I said it was top 3. I didn't say it was top 1. Arkan is still a god, right? That being said, situationally, I think there are plenty of examples now where Mind Work can actually exceed Arkan. It just depends on what your win condition is. In this matchup, going for Arkan feels really like obvious because going Mind Work gives you a very early all-in timing, which you don't want to have to commit to. A few of the notion Kremlin, Barbican, White Tower have fallen off. Kremlin 100% has fallen off. Maybe not in like gold lobbies or whatever, but in Conk is fallen off drastically in favor of Golden Gate. And Barbican has, for a long time now, fallen off at least first pick, right? Like, basically, most of the time, people now go Barbican because they want Song. More than Barbican itself. But yes, White Tower is still quite popular. Then again, even the White Tower builds are kind of shifted with people going 1 TCs more. IOs are already lackluster. I'm sorry, what? Are you okay? No. I'm going to have to debate that. Okay, 1's in chat if you think Imperial officials are underwhelming. 2's if you think they're god tier. Because here's the thing as well. Like, this is the other thing. It's not just the Imperial official themselves. It's the landmark. It's the gold gen. That's the absurdity in the early game. Is with production builders nearby, a blacksmith as well, doubling the trickle of gold you get is what makes the taxmen so good in the early game. You know, taxmen without the Imperial Academy wouldn't be able to fill the bags of goodies quick enough, right? They wouldn't actually have that much gold accruing. It's the generation with Imperial Academy that makes them seem nuts. Louis MT. Oh my god, we've got a Barbican drop. Well, a bit of an awkward Barbican drop because Wham is already prepping men at arms and an outpost to try and protect himself. And you're seeing why Louis is doing this as well. Look at the gold. Double gold on the fort. He can't last to go up. This is kind of crazy. Barbican coming in. I mean, you feel like you want to be a little bit deeper. I think you actually could get a little bit deeper here. Maybe one more tile because you won't have arrow slit straight away. Wham, brings out the men at arms. Louis only built 2 spears though. Scout's going to try for the body blocks. Louis trying to buy a little bit of time to make that difference. He's actually doing a great job of pushing this away. Man, I swear Louis must play Dota 2. Like, he plays these body block games like a Dota 2 player. Right now, that Spearman is saving the day. Wow, he's not addressing this correctly. He's got Spearman coming. He needs the villager pool. Barbican is most definitely going up. At this stage, it's way too late to stop. Ain't no build speed like a Chinese build speed. We'll lose the villager for it, but with Song, that's going to offset the losses over time. And now, a blocker to the goal, but the arrow slit, hand cannon slits can't reach this side, right? So he should still be able to gather with 4. And I think Wham needs to, because you can see he was intending to go for Castle Age. Damn. Louis MT and his body blocks. And this is the evolution I think that was missing when Barbican was last in the meta. We used to see Barbicans into food gathering nearby. This is so much better. He now has a very efficient timing into Jugnu. Right outside of Wham's base. And Wham, wow, he doesn't even try to contest it. He says, I know where this is going. If I play the Age, it's Mass Jug. So he wants out. I mean, it's pretty crafty, right? And Jug aren't mobile. Louis does seem to be on it. He's shifting over to spot it, but the problem now is it's too late. Right? Like, what does Jug do? They're not going to be able to march around there in time. So do you now mirror the tech? This is kind of rough. I think Louis, he got tunnel vision, right? It's like when someone scratches 2 of the numbers out on a scratch card, like, oh my god, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. And they just keep focusing, even though they scratched out the last number, like, oh, 100k, 100k. And then they realize, oh, the final one's a 1. Right? It's like, this is that feeling where you're so focused on one side, you completely neglect the other important detail. Great read by Wham as well to just build a second prelate to get out here, because now he has a very efficient play into dropping off this relic first. In the meantime, buffs for all the gold he needs. Damn, this is crazy. Well, Burgrave is Wham. How much? Wait. I mean, he has got the deer out here, right? But this is a guy with only 7 sheep at home. That's a bit ridiculous. Disable the YouTube chat? Well, joke's on you, mate. There's a reason why your Twitch message is up there. That's the Twitch chat. So, Wham. With limited food going, Burgrave is a little bit weird here. He'll probably drop a mill and just try to switch between gold and food to balance him out. And yeah, this is a bit horrible. Like, the Arkin. It's like, am I a joke to you? Army is shifting around. Louis, in theory, if he breaks this position, Wham's food issue becomes exponentially more problematic. Oh, okay, for the guy. No, I am occasionally looking at the YouTube chat. I'm not looking at all times. The interesting breakdown of YouTube is usually people who want to watch passively watch on YouTube. People who want to interact tend to go to Twitch. But like, that's something that if it changes over time, I monitor it and we will adjust for it. I need to find a multi-chat option that makes sense, because for a long time you couldn't have multi-chat on screen. Because if you had multi-chat on screen, it was bannable by Twitch's rules. But I think they might have changed that recently. I'd have to double check though. How does the prelate get left behind? Like, bro. Double outpost defense will scare Louis away. Louis needs to keep pressuring though, man. If he backs up here, this starts to look grim. I've got an outpost coming, a staging point, but in the meantime, it's already up to 8 men at arms and scaling. He has got the mill available, so we will eventually get that deer gathering we talked about. Still doesn't have an easy access onto his primary god. I mean, I do think you could just have 3 villagers here quite safely. Just doesn't feel worth the risk in his eyes. He has got the deer gathering. That's soon to exhaust. And still no additional prelates, right? Like, he's been so gold-starved because of the harassment here. He hasn't been able to afford to get those prelates pumping for the relics that would be his win condition. Men Arc, wait, are they just going for the base? Ah, yes. We have found the negative of building all of your military aggression next to your opponent's base. Who's defending mum and dad at home? The answer is no one, Timmy. We've got problems coming. Marching drills problems at that. Luminty, in the meantime, is getting ready with the siege engineering. Rush up on the village to try and give him protection at home. That's going to be a little bit too late against normal men-at-arms to be quick enough, but no! Wham! He goes the wrong way. He's going to arrive a little bit too late to block the builds. So Seek Shot will get Louis out of the jam. One villager is going to get chopped down, though. Louis continues to play this age, so no signs of letting up. Jiganu are just going to begin the pin cushion strategy. It takes 155 shots, so 52 volleys, because you shoot 3 times to kill an MAA. Quite a lot. Guys, we're definitely helping build it. Yep, all the build speed together, boys. So Wham has got prelates coming down, guys, and we've got relics. Wait, oh, sorry, it's right, yeah, because he went Burgrave. I mean, he didn't really need to do this necessarily. He could have like banked in the outpost, right, and then been a bit more efficient on getting the gold in. But it's fine. He needed a monastery eventually anyway. God, I'm so used to always seeing Burgrave. I forget when it's Regnants. Louis, I don't know, man. It's kind of unraveling a little. He really needs a breakpoint fast here. The Jiganu number is big, but remember, it's splintered, so it's less impactful. And you can argue the men-at-arms are as well, but like, you know, if you were to divide these 2 groups into 2 fights, I feel like the MAA are going to do better there, right? There's less kill threat on them. Really, you want to keep your range together. Melee can afford to be in smaller groups for small skirmishes because it means they're engaging quickly, right? If there's only 5 men-at-arms in each fight, they're all attacking straight away. If you have 50 Jiganu in a fight, they're all able to instantly attack. Wham just seems to be everywhere here. Splitting off into every little crevice he can find. Villagers getting idled everywhere. And Louis, the plan quickly unraveling in this game number 1. I think he's done. It's too many MAA already, right? It's up to 21. Louis doesn't seem to have a way out of age 2. He was looking for a timing. The Barbican looked great, but really the bread and butter of this is he got a little bit too excited. He was that guy in the Dota 2 Major that got up from his keyboard and started cheering like he'd won the game before there was actually a GG. He did not sufficiently block the goals. Now the beast is out of the bag. Behind this, more and more relics are going to start funneling home. Second one now coming in, third to be grabbed. Remember also the Arcan is starting to get some added value. Farm's getting added in now, so that's even more buffs. And when he comes back, the prelates can continue to buff this area here to maximum efficiency. Man, Wham may be looking to make a statement today. Remember, we've still got plenty more series to come, but right now with a dominant opening game like this, he's the only person at this rate that's looking like they're going to make it all the way through without dropping potentially even a single game. And remember, only 2 players will qualify to the grand final best of 11 out of this group stage. Merciless. I think at this point, Louis is just kind of scrambling, trying to look for that recovery. I mean, the reality is, right, we can say it's GG. There is still an element of Wham needs to execute. In fairness, I don't want to say it becomes completely A-click brain, but like once you have this type of lead with MAA, it to a certain degree reaches that point. Even if he's losing men-at-arms to the Jiganu mass, it's the fact of what is the rest doing, right? If it takes 20 Zhug to kill 2 men-at-arms, what about the other 14? And that's why you're seeing this lead build. I mean, it's now 15 worker kills. Half his eco idle at any given time. Man, great build. A reminder also that just sometimes Regnitz is bad, Burgrave is the way. And that means we've got what? Louis still has Juji. I think on the map draft they've done is pretty competitive, especially with the pick. So there is always a way he can still get us to a third game. What I like from Wham, though, is, he didn't get baited by the early aggro. He played for that mid-game timing where he knew he'd thrive and prevent Louis from ever finding a recovery arc in the late. Game 1, another Canadian win. Still more to come, folks. Best of threes. See you in the next one. Wham on an unbeatable win streak here in the midweek muster All-Stars. Game number 2 of this series up against Louis MT. Jeanne D'Arc up against Roos. Can Louis do it? Can he finally bruise the Canadian? Or is this man going to be unstoppable in the group stage? We go to Scarguard to find out. A map that is dominant for Pro Scouts and both civs able to play in the Pro Scouts. You've got Jeanne with the cheaper Ecotech. Saves a lot there, but also on the other side, you've got the Roos that are very efficient into their timing civ. But this is a bit different from Louis. We're seeing Kremlin play, and this is a reaction to French Knights. He's likely going to be going fast castle here. You need to protect your boost. If you go for Golden Gate can work phenomenally for a fast castle build against defensive civs. Jeanne is pretty much the polar opposite, right? There aren't many civs more aggressive than Jeanne, which is why you're seeing him opt for the landmark. I'd say in pro level play gets built about 5% of the time. It's very much not popular. Faked. What happened with water maps with Roos? They don't have Imperial ships. No, but they have that unique cannon thing they can get, right? They have an extra layer they can add to theirs. I mean, to be honest, Roos have been a bit underwhelming on water for a long time. It hasn't just been about Imperial. This map's a little bit different, though. The water really isn't about much in the early game. Late game, it can be, but in a very intriguing way. They usually get side treatment, because on this map, there's no fish. There's only the gold, the relics, and the sacred sites, and of course the boar. I need to talk to Avi about maybe shifting the idea of boar. Something's just not valuable enough about this. I've never once seen someone play boar on this map, but options are nice, right? What about Roos Pro Scouts? Oh, Roos Pro Scouts is the expectation here. Like, this should be Pro Scouts on both sides, right? Because the Roos, the reason it's efficient for them with this build is because they save 150 wood building into stables to start pumping scouts. They pump the scouts earlier. And then for Jeanne, it's the fact that you pay less, right? You can see that. You only pay about 250. Make it 2 balls on 1 island. I mean, I contemplated that as a thought, but like, I don't know, maybe? But where would you put it? You're going to have it on the balanced midpoint. And that midpoint is currently occupied by the relic, right? It's a bit weird. If there was a sacred site, sure, I could see it. I'm not sure. I think it's like theoretically cool to have the boar as an option. How can we see the bounty now? You can at Capture Age and ask them when they're going to add it. Scout going down a little bit awkward from Wham. Didn't we see, was it him who had that happen earlier? No, I think it was Louis actually when he got walled off. There was no wall to force it this time though. And we do have the dock. Oh, we're getting another trade game. Dude, the Canadians love this. They're the only ones that really go for this hard that I've seen. And oh my god. Someone remind me at the end of this to turn off the Steam overlay. I keep forgetting. I totally forgot to do it when we switched to this new PC, because usually I have it fully off. Wham and his goddamn trading. Ironically, the first time we saw this was in a game of Wham, but it was against them. It was when Puppy Paw played French into Malians. Louis, bloody hell. 7 scouts now. Really feels like the race is on, huh? It makes sense. Wham is already snatching from his side of the map. We have got the stockpiling already, so you can see no intent to build anything. Just a rush for age 3. Jeanne is on the way. Now, this is the cool thing about being ranged on here against a defensive civ. You can pick at the gatherers, right? You can poke twice and then go for the Divine Arrow Snipe to get a kill. Louis. He's getting poked down. Doesn't... No! Wham! Buddy. He didn't wait for the final arrow to notch. So I actually failed to get the kill there on the scout. Just kind of a waste of the Divine Arrows, because remember, scouts do heal over time. But here come the trade ships. So it's 33 wood and 33 gold each way. It's actually really not that bad. It's just extra economy as well, right? Like, the alternative is what? Build a TC? It's a lot more expensive. And this is a lot safer. Like, what is Louis going to do against this? When he has horse archers, it's going to be a little bit annoying. But before that point, I mean, he's not really going to scale archers in Age 2, which would be your better interceptor, right? Range units always feeling better. Militia pulls always just look demoralizing bad now, thank God. Remember when the Kremlin was the scourge of everyone's existence? Bless the nerfs, that landmark. So needed. So Louis should be looking for a high trade house. We did see an Abbey of Trinity today. I just was underwhelmed by what it done. I'm not expecting to see another one today. I'm going into spears. A little bit surprising if you think your opponent's going age 3, because you should be going horse archers, right? I guess if you can force it down the center, this makes a lot of sense. Because then the horse archers, like, they're great when they can kite, but it's very hard to kite when you're defending. You don't have enough terrain to back across. High trade house now coming in. Get your numbers in, folks. How big or small is it going to be? Scout, I think, did actually glimpse the trade. So at least know about it, but really there isn't much you can do about it. This Divine Arrow will get another kill. Wait, why was the... Are you drunk? Oh no, dude, he got griefed by Seek Shelter. Seek Shelter needs to be reworked, I swear. It just happens so often like this. Shivery also coming through from Wham. I guess he's going to stay in the age a little bit longer. We've got archers added in now, right? But these aren't going to trade well into the horse archers, not in this count. So you need to bloat quite a few if he wants to do this. So it kind of shows his intent. I guess he's going to try to starve Louis in his base. What would be really big brain from Louis, and I don't see enough in this situation of players doing, is if you're up against mass archers in feudal from your opponent, instead of doing horse archers, just do mass archers, right? Just vet your archers and spam. Because then they'll win. And you are playing a Civ that gets 20% more wood anyway. So you're still leaning into the advantage of your Civ. In fact, you're doing it more so than if you put horse archers, right? Horse archers is 33% cost wood, whereas archers is 60... Is it 6%? It's like 60% or whatever. 65. It's high. Oh, look. It's that wham wall moment. Makes sense. This is the natural counter when you see a fast castle roost player. Because now it's going to take these horse archers 1,500 arrows to get through. Has anyone ever sat there with horse archers trying to break a palisade before? Like, all the way through. I don't mean just poking a bit. Have you ever sat there and tried to shoot your way through a wall? How depressing did it feel? And how many episodes of Demon Slayer were you able to watch before you broke through? Sorry, not 59, 1,250 HP. 1,250 shots, though, is still a lot. Nice interception. Well, Wolves got nerfed, but they got nerfed for their build speed. They didn't get nerfed for their health, right? So if you get Wolves up, it's still a living hell for a Roost Horse Archer spammer. So we have got Undermesh being prepped. This is the other awkward thing, is like by your opponent scaling archers like this, you know, they're cheaper, but also because their damage value is lower, they get even more value out of things like Steeled Arrow. In fact, Louis really should be prioritizing getting Undermesh here, now that he sees archers. Just because it offsets so much of their damage. It's rough as well, because the more Wham plays in archers, the less attention Louis can potentially give to that idea of trade. Right? Which is Wham's gradual win condition here, with the fact that he's not playing French, he can't scale villages quicker. So his eco advantage is coming off the water. 5 trade ships now. What's better, horse archers or Magadai? Horse archers. Depends on what you're trying to do in the game, but like, Magadai is stronger as a variable pick, but horse archers are more generalist. And the high trade house in the end, folks, was 121 gold. Yeah, only a mere 32 trees, but still pretty impressive for that number. Wall's pretty much up. Louis does have a small gap he can try to funnel through, but the archers are mirroring. I think Louis is going to want to get off horse archers pretty quick here. This can very easily just bounce against you now. Mobility is your one edge here. You're not going to have that anymore. Is the new tech from Wham, or do people go water trade on this map? So when we first introed this map, these Canadians were the first ones to start water trading on it. It's not a bad idea, and also it's a build that got buffed a little in the early game because it's more efficient. Because now these docks count as a house, so you save 50 wood building. Knight's now being added by Louis. I mean, he needs something to break through these walls. Is there a world in which he tries to get crossbows? I think it's a bit awkward to try and make that switch, just because you're going to encourage Jeanne to, once they age up, do the same. And arbitrary be crossbow, right? It's like not even close due to police. So for the time being, he needs to keep pressure-oriented, which is why he's sticking to cavalry. You can kind of get away with knights for the time being, because at the current point in the game, your opponent doesn't have the ability to mirror you, right? French knights are decent. They can hold their own within reason against a castle age knight, but over time you will just start to trade inefficiently. The difference, however, is the healing, right? Like, if you as Louis can keep forcing the fight, knights win. But if Jeanne gets poke attacks, you've got Divine Restoration, you've got Chivalry. Like, that's the problem for Louis. Like, so Louis right now is looking for an all-in timing. But Wham's approach here is to play more strategic. Play more raid-oriented, right? Raid within the fight, not raid within the economy. So he wants to go in, poke at a few of these, back away. He wants to get a little bit of XP for Jeanne, get some knight damage in, get away with them alive. And yes, Louis does indeed know this trading. I think he scouted it earlier, just hasn't really done anything about it. I'm a bit surprised he didn't intercept now. I mean, this was in the golden time, but it seems like he feels it's more important to break through the wood line here. Go for the land economy. So Militia did give him the fast burn through. I think that's an interesting difference these days compared to the old Horse Archer builds, right? It's like the Militia actually gives you a burst through point. Here's a one and done, though. If you get pushed back beyond the threshold, likely not going to be able to make it happen again. Nice starting to come in here. Horseman scaled into. Wham! Pretty ballsy, man. Especially when you start to see Knights arrive, but feels confident it's the only way it's going to be able to hold this long term. Knights with the body blocks now coming in. Horsemen are going to be able to keep chasing this. Okay, that was actually a decent fight for Wham. He needs to care not to overextend here. But Jeanne's getting a lot of XP out of this. She's not being sniped as a prio. Divine Restoration comes through, and the Horsemen get in again. Jeanne does go down, but look at the Horse Archer losses here. That turn to get that kill on Jeanne actually cost him pretty dearly. I mean, that was nicely done. I don't even know if I'd say that was intentional from Wham as much as it was a bit of a flumber. Definitely the word I'd use by Louis. He overextended with the Horse Archers to kill Jeanne. And that gave way too much damage to the melee mass. Wow, now going to just keep pressuring. Needs to focus fire down those Horse Archers as best he can, but he may have overextended. And by the way, this is pre-Boy's Fortitude. Yeah, I think Wham, the moment the Knights go down there, you just need to back up. But the problem in his eyes here is that if you ever have to run away, you're going to die to the movement speed. Die he will. Louis able to get that counterattack in. Jeanne has been rebought. Now Louis looking to keep this gap open forever and ever. Oy, oy, oy. And Louis now on his way to relics as well. We have at least got a blocker towards the free on the water side. Wham was starting to stockpile a bit of resources for Castle, but I don't think that's really that feasible now. Has to double down on the feudal again. And Jeanne dead again. Okay, that wasn't better. Last time, you actually got a really good trade out of that. You lost Jeanne, but you killed about like 5-6 Horse Archers at least for it. That time, one died. And you also lost, what, a Horseman. Doesn't Roos outscale hard? It's a bit weird with Jeanne because if Jeanne gets age 4 with her attack speed, she's kind of insane. But like in the mid game, yeah, Roos is going to feel pretty good with this lead they've built. Flash coming in now. Wham. Having the front line with the archers essentially. Knight count still at 7 and looking good. And Wham at breaking point here. Has got more spearmen coming out. The TC really needs to focus in on those Horse Archers though. Looks like he should be able to hold from this. And yeah, Louis, he did not have Boy's Fortitude that whole time. So I think that was a bit of a mistake. Louis shouldn't really be diving this deep without that tech. He was in a pristine position to get it around this fight here. It is expensive at 500, but totally worth it. I think the other awkward thing is like you've got Horse Archers, but instead of going around the back and hitting the tree lines, hitting the golds, He's brute forcing under the TC. I do wonder if that's really the worthwhile way to go here. You do have some stone gathering on the front side, so Louis, guess you could gradually find your way into a keep drop. Wow, now just basically being stripped down to mass infantry, which is just awkward against horse archers to a certain degree. I think Louis is in a fairly good position here, right? Like, he just needs to find that one opening onto Wham's economy. It's a bit hard to tell how much food Wham's got left because of the nature of the deer being hidden. I'd guesstimate like 7 or 8 deer, maybe? Meanwhile, Louis has what? Probably in about the same. Maybe more. Especially considering he's got the high trade house giving him extra every time. Jeanne has to be close to a level up, surely. It's always annoying against horse archers because they just don't really give that much XP. 120 resource AK-12 XP sounds good. With how easily they can snipe you down, it doesn't feel good. And yeah, chill. Wham is not going to go for an age up when he's being dove. It's not like he's building a white tower. Just to build a Royal Institute. Wait, is he? Okay, no, we're playing long con. This has just become a dangerous game for Wham. He's playing deeper into the game state against a player who historically thrives off that late game. Yeah, this could backfire really quickly for Wham. If Louis reads this correctly and just plays for scale, which he could very easily do, right? He's got 2 sacred sites locked in. He's got gold from the relics as well. He can get another 3 relics, which realistically he should get access. Would need to send the horse archers to clear up the boats, guarding and patrolling the shores though. I mean, the trade is decent for Wham, right? He's up to 9. So gold isn't going to starve him out of the game. That's the good news, and he has got a back gold anyway. This is really important. He's down to 1,500. And the excess gold is just a bit too far away, right? Like, you're not really going to be able to touch this, not with the pressure coming in. So gold isn't going to be the problem for Wham. What might become the problem here is food. You're already seeing that Louis is extending his life in that regard, playing out into the boars. Deer is still in the area as well. Wham has got a little bit of reserved deer plus the berries, but I think at this rate, he's likely to just get burnt out on food. Night match is looking so good as well. 22 knights now. Jeanne might get level 3, but at this stage in the game, it doesn't really count for much. Saint's Blessing is going to be coming in. We even have a scout running around with a car. Wait, did he just yoink from underneath the TC? I think Louis did. Baits him out as well. Forces the few knights left alive to commit a little bit too wide there. Alright, apparently the scout's been carrying it the whole time. It's a trophy. It's his precious. He's a Schmiegel. And this Warrior's Monk definitely helping a lot, right? The Saint's Blessing just giving you so much extra ranged firepower here. And defense. Even with the veterancy, the archer's not hitting anywhere near as hard as you'd think they would. The brute force now coming in. 16 spearmen left alive. But not for long with the boys' fortitude as well. The knights are cleaving their way through that front line. And Wham looks like he's at break point. No more spearmen left in the formation. Jeanne gets sniped again. And the choke point hold is not going to work. Wham reduced down to a handful of archers and a hope in hell not existing of getting a 2-0. Finally, it is proven that this Canadian can bleed. What a game from Wham and from Louis. Both of them really sick approach. Louis, it looked like he was a little bit over the top with his earlier dive, but it worked to keep Wham a little bit too long in the age and ensure that Louis will keep himself alive in this set. We are going to a game 3. Oh, it's going to be a long day full of intense games here in the Midweek Muster All-Stars. We're back for the deciding game. Louis MT with the Juji, Wham with the Abbasids, and we are in Hill and Dale. First time that this map has made an appearance in Midweek Musters, but definitely not the first time in competitive AoE 4. Cool to think that actually it'll be the last time you'll see it in competitive AoE 4 in 2024 will be in the Midweek Musters. Remember, guys, we're going to actually be having the grand finals of this tournament Monday, 30th of December. Dude, I'm so hyped for it. All right, so Louis opening up by going for the 4 deer, pretty much expected. Makes a lot of sense against Abbasids. You probably wouldn't make this play against something like French because there's a risk you just get raided. But against a more chill civ like the Abbasids, it's a free play. What Wham could do to be annoying with this is go something like Military Wing, but man, it's Abbasids. We're probably expecting to see some greed. Eco Wing seems the most likely. I think if Wham goes Eco Wing, he needs to be very careful because Louis can just fast tech. In fact, a good start to that would probably be a Meditation Garden just safely at home, right? 36 food, probably about 30 wood. Wouldn't be too bad, too shabby here. There are some plays with usually out into the center of the map, but they always feel like a gamble. Sometimes you get these broken resource spawns, and sometimes you get ones that are a bit more underwhelming like this, right? Like you kind of wish the gold was here, because then you could have got 50 gold and like 48 food. Likely I'll play it safe at home. Scout opening is going to be very important. They are mirrored right now, and it looks like actually Louis got ahead of him, so he's going to fall behind in that regard. But Abbasid versus Juji, like when I've been seeing it recently, I feel like Juji have been improving their wing. Okay, come on. How did... I think Louis needs to gargle some salt water, clear his throat there, because he clearly didn't yell loud enough. Even though he's closer, somehow Wham gets the cheap. Why is that still a thing in this game? Well, at least pivoted both ways. It's going to be close to a 50-50 sheep split. I love it. Wham's going military wing. Okay, I think this is the correct call. If you wait, what happens instead is both players will probably wall up, and then you can't rush Castle Age, right? But you usually can. And then they go Shallow Monks and rush Relics, which just gets them too far ahead. So I actually agree with this play. It's going to allow him to shove his opponent off the deer. It's going to allow him to force Juji to build units in this age when they likely don't want to. You know, Louis needs to finish dropping off here. It's always the awkward thing. He's not as far behind as you'd think. It's just because he went deer, he has to wait until he's gathered 25 to drop off of survival techniques, right? So it always looks really bad when you watch this. But in reality, it's fine. The Medigarden. Where's he going to place it? Is Louis streaming? I don't have access to the Chinese platform, so I can't confirm. Wait, what? Really? That is a sad-looking meditation garden. That's like one of the worst ones I've seen in a while. I mean, I guess it's not as terrible as it could be, right? It's 25 gold, 25 stone, and then probably about 15 wood. So, you know, it's not great. It could be... Oh, God, it's even less. It's like 7 wood. 7 or 8 wood, yeah. I thought you'd go for this one here, which would have been the 36 food plus probably about 25, 30 wood. Hillendale is just a weird map for this, though. It's very rare you get a great meditation garden option. Oh. What do you guys think of Hillendale, by the way? I'm kind of curious. Do people miss it from competitive play, or do they just feel like it's a map that's been played out and they never want to see it again? And we forgot to disable the goddamn overlay again. It's driving me crazy. I need to remember after this one. Loving Hillendale. I think it's not as obnoxious as it once was, at least a lot of the time. It's a bit annoying when you get spawns like this where the trade posts are corner-based because you can end up with insanely long games because of it. But there are a few things that change with it now that it's more balanced. The tree lines are a bit harder to reach. Over time, it's had some improvements. Sometimes I see Hillendale with all the safety that you have on the high ground. I'm like, man, kind of feels like we should have had flying units in this game. Guys, that's what we need. We need like a Chinese variant civ that has the giant like gliders that they can shoot units to fly. That thing that was in what was it called? Was it Dragon Throne Battle for Redcliffe? Those things were incredible. So military wing units have at least arrived. We have got the horseman follow-up. I'm going for the classic one too. He's playing 2 TC behind this as well. Jiangnan straight away from Louis. A little bit surprising to go Song this early. Yeah, you don't typically see it in a rush. Now you don't have that fast castle build. I guess you make the transition to Zhuge a little bit cleaner, but like at the sacrifice of a 15% discount age up, doesn't feel great. Feels like you're going to have to play the age more to justify it. And instead, wow, he's just turning it into a TC game. Okay, so it begins to make a bit more sense why he wants the Song, right? Admittedly, the savings isn't as insane as you'd otherwise think. You do save 120 wood. It is a lot, yes, but like it's not as if you're saving on the stone as well, right? But the reason you can do it is because there's no eco wing in this game. You mean remember the Ottoman English game on this map? Yeah. I think sometimes you can get really cool games on this map, but a lot of the time it becomes a wall up and then a meat grind. This is the thing about, like, I think overmaps and why, on average, they become more popular, is the mid-game feels more meaningful than when you have maps like this or Mountain Pass, where people just wall up and wait until they've got all their big guns, you know? I think, in some ways, for people, that the whole idea of getting all your big units together is funner to play, maybe, but not as fun to watch. Does that make sense? Like, you might think it's epic once you've got a gazillion units attacking a gazillion units. The problem is waiting X minutes for a gazillion units to arrive is where people are like, okay, this is slow. This pressure is annoying though. Louis just kind of getting delayed a little bit in his timing. Remember, it's actually stone that he needs more of than wood. So if he just gets shoved away here, it's not going to look good for him. Shivs are going to come out. Will be enough to scare away his opponent. Wham, of course, doesn't want to reinvest behind this. This is all just to delay his opponent's TC timing because he is going for additionals. 2 TC online is going to make it free. And Louis, is this going to be a mirrored reaction? I don't think so. I think this is just 2 TC to try and play catch up because he's got too much wood now. Then again, he does have it scouted. He knows his opponent is still gathering on stone. So likely he mirrors, but I don't like mirroring here for Juji. The problem of mirroring is that your opponent is just saving so much more food than you, right? Like, your cost of free TC, I mean, he could have 4 TC and be paying less. Maybe Jeanne worth? Jeanne has some value. It's just, like, the reality is it doesn't give you a quick transition to castle. You now have to play a longer feudal, right? That's your trade-off. Now, where it makes sense for Louis is if he thinks he can't survive without the food and needs to go granaries, then Song Jiangnan becomes very justified. Man, look at that third TC. I mean, he knows about it though, right? Louis is going to be looking for it. It's a really sick placement. It's safe in a very tight area. You've got berries, you've got wood. But if you get spotted building it up, it's going to be a disaster. Wow. He does notice this. Horseman Scout coming around, and Louis... Well, someone's got a scout here. Because if this TC goes up, Wham is nicely insulated. Because Louis is playing multi-TC, he can't afford to go for an all-in on the third TC. So he's going to poke him away. So actually, Louis gets scared, runs with his tail between his legs, and that means that Wham, folks, is going to start building an economy lead. Oh, not for long. Louis, for God's sake! No. This is going to be one of those games. It's 4 TC Juji, and he just scouted the stone gathering. He can check and see the stone outcropping. And does this mean that Wham mirrors, or does he just age? I think Wham just says okay and ages, right? Because like Louis is going to have to go for a farm transition on the high ground before he thinks about age 3. And Wham can just now prep the tech. Oh no. Yeah, Jiangnan paid for itself, folks. It only took 4 TC Shushi. Louis like, outboom me? Oh, I never. Let's be real about this, though. Like, what Louis has done here is incredibly gluttonous and now very punishable. Wham had the right idea not to mirror. And yes, we weren't going to start up the KPMMs again until January the 3rd, but I decided my late Christmas present to you all was to do one more midweek muster in 2024 with our most accomplished midweek muster players. So welcome back for the final time in 2024. We'll be live today and then on the 30th of December. Oh my god, this is just too much TCage. And this is what, probably going to be, I mean, you just go Culture Wing for a timing, right? Eco Wing feels a little bit greedy. If you want to match the granary, sure. And he does. Economy win is now on the way. Do I eat nuts? I feel like I'm being baited into something. I've started to eat nuts recently. It's been a transitional like element in my life as a fussy eater. I recently tried peanut butter. I like it. It's alright. The flavored peanut butter, especially, that I've been getting from like Protein Works. It's got like toffee biscuit and salted caramel. I've never tried the KP nuts, no. Okay, so Wham with Eco Wing. He's walled in quite nicely. This TC also blocks the one access point to his base. Louis needs to rush an age now. And he can at least do that. That's the upside, right? It's like Wham has to wait all this time. You can just zerg your way into the next age. However, because you did go Song, it's not going to be cheaper. Probably still going to be looking at a play into Shaolin Monastery. Realistically, when you're 4 TC, you can kind of justify Mount Lu as well. But going Shaolin Monastery first, picking up the relics, and then playing Pagodas afterwards makes a lot more sense for Zhu. Then again, I guess the trade-off here is because you're playing 4 TC, you're spending 600 food a minute on villager production. So if you do go for the Shaolin Monks, they're very meaty, 200 food each. Can you really afford it? I think you have to. The alternative, like what you're giving over, just doesn't feel great. Okay, no, he's going Mount Lu Academy. So this will be a rush into a monastery then, and he'll supervise to pump out free. Because relics make or break this now. You sneak onto the boar, Zhu, or the boar out in the middle of the map. Yeah, that would be pretty dangerous. You kind of wish you had the boar placement of Wham over here. Would have felt a lot better. Alright, one's if you think Wham's going to win this. Two's if you think Louis is going to take it. Where do you all lie on this one? I feel as if this is like Wham favored right now with these openings. He's got a lot more lances being pumped. He's now also got archers coming, which he will have composite bows for. And I wonder... Yeah, there's Louis' monks finally. Are we going to see the same from Wham? I mean, realistically, he could. I think he's playing for map control before relics, though, which is a healthy approach to this. And yes, when Malians, Ottomans, Ab or Ayyubids kill boars, it disappears for both teams. That's why tournament rules have often said that you cannot kill the boar if you're those civs. Because, like, it's a pretty ridiculous, like, detail. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it hasn't been fixed. Personally, I think that if they kill the boar, it should just kill the boar. I'm pretty sure it's not intended. If it's intended, it's one of the dumbest things they've implemented. Because it's very silly, right? Like, it's kind of like the same idea. Like, the way I look at the boar disappearing when certain civs kill it, I look at the same way with docks over fishing, where they used to erase the fish, but they fixed it now so that the fish come back after the docks are taken away. Monk intercepted, though. Nice start here. Wham able to block the first gathering there. Now, Wham playing for his own relic grabs, but behind this, there's a lot of force coming, right? He went for the military escalation first, and on top of that, Louis playing a dangerous game, refusing to make the granary transition. He has to play for risky resources. I mean, it's kind of do or die, right? You have to take this risk or you're dead anyway. Because at this stage, like, your opponent has so much food to work with, they're not investing in farms, they can just all in you. So if you have to now go granaries, like, just imagine the difference you're seeing military now. If you went granaries, Louis has maximum 10 units at this stage. Ham is playing a little bit reluctant, but it's probably because he thinks that deep mid-age here isn't bad for him, right? Like, playing deep into castle age is good with composite bows. Even against Palace Guard, it's not the worst affair because Palace Guard have less ranged armor than standard men at arms. Still, a little bit weird that he's playing it this slow. Probably doesn't realize that his military lead was there. Not fully, anyway. And we do have the good old single whip reform coming in, so those taxmen are about to get very quick. Eventually, we'll probably see Imperial Red Seals as well. No regional inspection coming, but he already built so many racks, it's probably somewhat moot. I've yet to see a single game where anyone really valued Military Affairs Bureau. That's the one that when you supervise a castle, it takes 35% less damage. By the way, speaking of things that disappear when they get killed, I still love how monks carrying relics when they die, they just disappear, as if like the relic is so heavy, it crushed them. It's very kind of like cartoon with a giant anvil dropping on your head-esque, right? Single Whip Reform actually got rid of taxmen. Don't tell them. They'll stop working. Burn from the walls now coming in. We do at least have outposts being built by Louis to protect himself, but I don't think one outpost is going to make a difference here. His ass just needs to leave. And unfortunately, he did get most of the deer here, so yeah, he gets what he needs before he has to exit. The boar wasn't really touched, though. He has at least segmented the map, though, where we've got walls pretty much everywhere. I just realized that, like, I actually credit to them. This is the first game where we're seeing walls to this extent. These two are probably the two most prolific wallers that we have in Midweek Musters. And they're finally showing it. Louis really trying to get that relic home, but struggling right now. Nestabes is coming out. Manjanique is really adamant that they need to kill this mill. He's like, it's got 91 tax in it. We can't let him have it. He's going to back off now. I mean, this is looking like a 2-3 split, right? Louis should be getting 2 relics. Wham should realistically be getting 3. Wait. Where is... Oh, it's back up here. Yeah, I was about to say. It's like, please tell me we didn't get a 4 relic spawn. Wow, I mean, realistically, what you want to be doing here, right, is you want to be pulling relics and then going for sacred sites. That'll force Louis out of his base quite quickly. Oh, just going in and poking away, not able to get the Nestabes kill. Be a little bit careful. You could just play into Mangoes. Remember, this isn't Ayyubid, so no Manjaniques. You haven't got that spread burn fire. Funnily enough, with the nerfs around Castle Age Mangoes, I'd actually say Manjanique's fire mode is just kind of better overall. Sure, it hits pretty low damage, but the idea is that it spreads damage. Against a high-level player, they can very easily dodge Mango shots now, right? But against Manjanique incendiary shots, it's like a mini Nestabes effect. Wow, we do still have a lot of stone gathering underway. So we should be seeing some keep drops coming in on the big golds. Understanding that Louis can't play long game with Juji without gold. Sort of grab there, but an ambitious overreach. We do have additional mangoes being built by Wham now. Wham, who so often says that he doesn't like siege, but often finds himself building them. Hey, Wham, when the meta calls for it. And no, Springles no longer counter mangoes. It's a great change. I do think that maybe more tweaks need to be made to the siege system overall. Some people have been disgruntled with mangoes being harder to kill. I personally prefer the direction we're starting to move in over what we had. I think anti-siege meta sucked. Springles are a bit sucky right now, but I think people should chill going, what's the point in this unit now? It's like, dude, Springles dominated the meta for 3 years. I'm kind of okay if for a season they have to be sidelined because they're not very good. I don't think that's a bad idea, right? Like, let them have their cooling period, figure out what their role's really meant to be. Don't change their role to be anti-infantry, but then overbuff them. You know what you guys should do? You should change from those crappy old slow CPUs to new 9800 X3Ds. Click the link in chat. Dude, shout out to AMD for coming back to sponsor us again, on top of helping us build this Giga Chad PC we're now using to stream and play games. They're also coming back to do awareness campaigns. What legends. Lance is just getting buffed away by these spears. Not really a great way to engage. Wham's slowed down, though. He's going age 4. Freaking Abbasid economy. What about GPU? Can wholeheartedly recommend the 7900 XTX, or if you want to wait for something that's maybe going to be a little bit more budget-friendly, but have respectable performance as well, you could always wait for the new GPUs likely to be announced. Not sure if they're going to be launched, though, early 2025. The ones that are being theoretically dubbed the 8800 XT. But as someone who has the 7900 XTX, I can full on thumbs up it. I love this GPU. It's great. I don't know. Wham's looking like he's in a pretty good position here. Tradewing's going to give him that longevity. Louis needs to start making moves. What he's waiting for is Imperial now. He's got the farm set up. He just needs to get Divine Haste. And then he can run along the flanks with Palace Guard. On a map where Wham has yet to build stone walls. I think Skrill still do range damage instead of siege damage. Yeah, because like I agree, but like the whole logic is like MAA armor being what 6 or whatever, right? Get up to 8 with the Inkspin arms, 9 technically. You remember that the bonus damage Springles has offsets that as well. So I don't think that's necessarily the drastic problem. I think the bigger problem with Springles is the hitboxes just suck. So when you try to penetrate, it doesn't work very well. Lancers, yo, what a timing here! Finds villagers on the flank. Looks like Louis was trying to secure his sides, but unable to do so safely. So great timing there by Wham. Gets his tech up first. Temple of the Sun is coming for Louis, but he might be overboomed here, folks. 142 eco. Wham down at 113. He's got room to scale more military, but also now wiggle room to switch into traders. So Wham is going to have to back up here, realizing there's more walls. Tech up's complete on both sides. And we are seeing Dali horses. So Louis likely getting ready for what? Horseman's Wedge? Interesting. I mean, yes, you are up against archers. What he doesn't know, though, is that Wham is prepping golems. SCB's big hits! Even with boot camp, he melts. Good damage done, Louis. Had to get a little bit of breathing room there. More and more... Dude, the force in this game! This is ridiculous. Unbelievable. SCB's now mopping up what's left of this archer retinue. Wham is prepping a big transition to Masculine though. It's crazy because Louis is taking the bait. He's massing spears. So we're going to have a really weird clash here. It's going to be Mass Nesta Spears, the classic, versus Masculine. And these Golems are going to slap you about. If he gets his timing right into Elite Army Tactics, these spears are going to melt. And if he gets his spread right, which should be line formation and concave, the Nesta Beast damage should be somewhat negligible. I think what Louis needs to do is just keep using these walls, because like the downside of what Wham's doing with all the Golems is that he's going to struggle if he runs into blockades. Right, that's where range wins, right? And the Nesta Beast will be the king of ranged. Explain to me how Siege has been nerfed. Start of Castle, most definitely. I think Nesta Bees are in a weird place, that's for sure. The weird part is Nesta Bees feel terrible once you get to Imperial. But in the Castle Age like, area, we've seen, especially from B in particular, some obnoxious holds. Mangoes definitely in Imperial Age, once you have adjustable crossbars, are really good now, though. Like, this is one of the interesting things. If Wham just gets into adjustable crossbars and plays Mass Siege, Nesta Bees will lose. Right? Technically, Nesta Bees already are a bit of a loss on the tower range difference. You can make that even worse with this tech now coming. There you go. Extra projectile range, extra splash, extra damage. Just gonna start diving in the Guillems. Just need to get through. Actually gonna chase the knobs back behind the wall. Get just behind it, but now the body blocks. The Spearman can't get away. We talked about this idea of a concave. This is kind of what we were looking for from Wham. It's a mass Guillem flood. He just gets shredded. Able to mop him up and walk away. Instead, he's going to look to burn through the wall, though. Doesn't care about the knobs coming behind this. The funniest part is there's actually not that many traders yet for Wham. He only has 5. So this is still without the OP trade. Louis in a bit of a predicament now. He's got the gold vein over here. It's down to 3.7k, after which he needs to make a move for more. I think this is the turning point, folks. Adjustable crossbars has been long in the waiting, but Wham now has it. That's where Knobs will fail Louis. Because remember, Nestabee's got a few different nerfs to them, right? Like, for a start, they lost the gunpowder effect. So they lost +2 per shot, right? So that's 16 damage less on an attack. One thing that's least cool for Zhu Ji is with this here, Temple of Sun, you can get an extra 1 range of Divine Defense. As cool as that is, though, that puts you up to 8.5 tower range against a unit that's going to have 9 tower range. It's a bit tricky. And yeah, I think Louis did forget about that relic in the corner. No! Come on! Are you actually kidding me? Neither of them scouted that. Oh, the brutality of map edge relic spawns. The army attack's coming in. Oh my god! Louis? Was that intentional? There's no way that was intentional. Surely not. I mean, I know he hates the siege. I know he's got too much economy, but, like, are we there yet? I think that was partially intentional, but, like, not worth it if you don't kill the siege. Wow. They hold their torches up like they're at a Kumbaya sing-along right now. Louis has got a lot of pass guard. But, like, his reserves aren't really that impressive right now. Does need to be careful not to overcommit to Culverins. Yeah, Louis, this play that he made, like, I checked the queue, he had, like, 30 pass guard in reserve. Great, right? But it's not like you got 80, right? You haven't stockpiled. You haven't done that classic, let me get 10,000 food and then throw away my economy to win the big fight. PG going to wrap around the back. We're about to find the mangoes. So he should be able to split out actually 3 of them. It's actually a really good fight there. Wipes them out. This is the obnoxious thing. Gulen will beat you, but they can't catch you because the movement speed is just so much better. PG raids on the flanks are going to be a little bit less successful. The keeps being up. Except down here where he finds a big chunker. Wow, I'm not paying attention to his gold gathering. He's going to get taken out over there. Okay, so Louis just doing that thing that he's infamous for in the late game, the obnoxious raids on the flanks. Understanding that the Ghoulims will beat him in a straightforward fight. And wow, I'm now looking to escalate things. We have got hand cannoneers being queued up. Culverin Mass still looking good. Nesta Bees still trying to be a nuisance. The castle to be dropped here, but the Ghoulims marching in. With a double strike, this could be surprisingly tight, but the reality check is usually build speed is just insane. Gets the castle up. Not many villagers left alive, but on 4 TC, you can afford to lose 10. Oh, wow. Scaling that hand cannon mass. This is kind of the new scary point. There's a breakthrough to try and deal with the trade. Wham has, what, 8 traders? Not that big of a deal. What could be a big of a deal is the hit onto villages afterwards. But I don't think Louis is at the point where he's got the surplus to send there yet. He has to be a little bit worried about the center fight still. Knobs, dude, I've said knobs are kind of wacky, right? Like, once you get late enough, you will beat Nesta Bees. But that doesn't mean that they're, like, worthless in the mid-game, right? They are, I'd say, a lot better for defending you through adjustable crossbars than Mangoes will ever be. Cold? Oh, no. Just a reminder that China and Zhu Ji get the fastest men at arms in the game. And isn't that reasonable? So ridiculous. There is a point in the game where, like, Zhu Ji and Chinese players are right to hate how Palace Guard feel to fight with. And that's when you have a condensed fight and nowhere to go. But when you have breadth on the map, this is by far the most annoying men-at-arms unit in the game. Without a doubt. 1.58 movement speed. Like, come on. Breakthrough coming on the east side. Louis MT just seems to be everywhere that Wham cannot. Diving attempt is going to be a big fat fail because he runs into the Nesta Bees again. I've seen this tale before from Louis. He's so obnoxious at exactly this. I think we're going to be seeing a win for the Chinese kid. It's just impossible for Wham to keep up with this now. TC in the flank's been lost. Villagers now running for their lives on the west side. Wham has no gold in reserve. And the gold he needs to gather is now getting blocked. So he's got the hand cannoneers on the way to eventually shut this down, but the cost is high in this deciding game. And yes, if you ever wonder if Louis has the Temple of Sun upgrade on for Divine Haste, just look for this little logo here. He has not toggled off of it the entire Age 4. They're just so desperate to get away. But even more going down. Remember, on the other side, the Palace Guard are actually waiting to receive. Man, this is brutal. He did at least get the stone wall up in time, so Louis is going to leak into the top economy. But, I mean, this is Louis in a nutshell, man. Like, if you ever play against Louis and your game goes late, this is what you need to look out for. It doesn't matter if he's playing Juji. It doesn't matter if he's playing Chinese. If he's playing English, he will try this as well. I have never met a player that loves men-at-arms in Imperial Age as much as Louis. And you'd think that with the changes to Elite Army Tactics, with the changes overall in Season 9, that would be a negative. But somehow, this legend of Chinese Age of Empires always finds a way to make it work. Now, game isn't over yet, but it's looking pretty grim for Wham. He's hugely behind on economy. Louis is carving out more of the map. He's taking away the majority of the 8k gold veins of what's left. And Wham doesn't have mass trade, right? He's down to just 11. Not just that, Pal's got to... I can't with this unit. I just really can't. I swear, when people listen to me, I must sound like the most biased hater of China and Juji. But there are... I think these civs, China and Juji, they have some of the most polarizing things in the game, right? Zhuge Nu may not be OP every single situation, but they can look it quite easily, given the right circumstances. Palace Guard may look a little bit flimsy in the mid game, but once you get to the late game, this unit moves like it's a knight. It's so hard to keep pace with these things. Why is Wham on Golden Age 2? I mean, what do you want from him, really? Right, he's got separated base over here. He's daisy chained in, but some discombobulation. I mean, it's 60 structures. It's not always as easy as you'd think. Louis just strangle-holding him now. We've got the Rams. 9 queued up. New Palace Guard wave moving in. This one assisted by the Nest of Bees. And I mean, 6 Nest of Bees can do a number on these hand cannoneer masses. We also do not... Okay, we do have Serpentine Powder. Knobs need to move up, though. Louis. Coffee break, sir. We've got other wolves coming from Louis. Some ambitious ones. Into a choke point, probably the one place that Wham doesn't want to be going here. Louis a bit reluctant to hang around though. Doesn't turn for a shot. But this is ridiculous. In fact, guys, can you remind me, am I right in this? When we had a game on Lipany, a late game from Louis, wasn't that against Wham as well? I'm pretty sure that was against Wham as well. That was the, was it 50-minute game? I believe it was English versus Juji. And Louis kept snaking proxy Raxes, breaking the flank walls, and breaking in. And once again, we find ourselves in the late game. Wham versus Louis. It may not be the same civs, but he's doing it to him again. More Rams knocking at the door. Juji Library also coming behind this. The extra buffers are going to be on the way for Louis soon. I mean, what do you really want from Juji Library? I think this is just about Ming. Really, guys, like, think about his comp. It doesn't do anything with Juji's Library. I guess you could build Palace Guard against Gulam. And what are those Gulam doing? They're trying to go for the Nest of Bees. But, I mean, if Louis just backed up, he could have got away there. Instead, he just hangs around. Oh my god. Louis could have made that so much harder for Wham. All he had to do was get behind the second palisade. But Wham, Frustrated moment finds a moment of recourse, and immediately there's a tack pause. No, I'm kidding, it's not tack pause. I hope it's not a bloody tack pause. We've got a pause. I'm starting to think Louis might have had a lag spike there. And okay, yeah, we just got confirmation his live stream died. Oh no. I mean, this would probably be a remake if it comes down to that, unless one of them volunteers a forfeit. I feel like Wham was trending towards a loss, but like this outcome of this fight, you could argue even if he pulls Nestie's back, the wall burnt so fast, he might have still surrounded him and killed him. So this is problematic. So apologies, folks. We're going to find out what's happening in a sec. A reminder, by the way, this nutty series, we're only in the round 2. We've still got 3 more rounds after this for day number 1 of the Midweek Muster All-Stars. If you like what you've been seeing here, make sure that you're following across on all the platforms, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter as well. Please do feel free to engage with these platforms. They're all easily engaged with for free. The Twitter side of things, you actually help me out a lot when you just see like sponsored tweets, whatever tweets, liking, retweeting. And of course, watching the videos on YouTube and Twitch helps immensely as well. But it looks like we are back. I'm going to pause for a second. This sometimes happens after a resume. We just need to get unpaused at the right time. So we should be not stuttering now. Louis lost a lot there, folks. He has got a lot of gold access still, though. Wood should be fairly good as well. Yeah, he's fine for Wood. Sets him back, but doesn't kill him. Do you have a discount code for Crucial? Let me check with them. It might be a little bit of a wait for a response. I did create an Amazon shopping list. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a better way globally for you guys to buy where I get an affiliate where I get an affiliate kickback. Because I know that like I don't think Amazon tracks between the different countries well, right? Because like mine show up in pounds and it's probably not the same listing on Amazon's different locations. So I kind of need like a component provider that like ships everywhere. I need to start Corsairs because Corsair does at least have affiliate links that you can use. But let me look into it. Dive underneath double keep. Still more SWBs here. Wow, this isn't going to break Louis. It might break your bank though. He doesn't have much gold coming into the bank. In fact, he's losing a lot of those gold workers. Wham, on the backside again. The trade gets cut off. Oh man. On the upside, if Wham does still have quite a lot of hand cannons left. This type of starvation, very important. Has Lee secured the gold vein on the west side. This game is getting bonkers. The Fog of War, sure, we usually just don't do it as much in the late game because at this stage, the spread is wide. It's also switching player POVs leads to a lot more ping notifications, which I think a lot of people don't like in the late game. But you can quickly see, like, it's pretty dire in terms of what Wham sees. Doesn't really matter, though. They know what the clear targets are, right? Like, gold veins in center for Louis, blocking trade on the backside from Wham. He's chased again. Ghoulims are really good at killing knobs, remember, because the double strike. Man, love this Ming Dynasty read, though. It really did ramp up the SWB's damage. +1 doesn't sound like a lot, but really does kick it up here. Now, with that Ming as well, remember the Power Scar just hits so hard. Ming Power Scar probably beats Ghoulim in a direct fight. I'd have to double-check the statistics, but I feel like Ghoulim can still win that. Right? Because you've got, what was it, 1623 versus just 24. It's really good for Ghoulims, and they have substantially more health, especially with Boot Camp, plus the Elite Army Tactics. The problem for Wham is he completely negated to get his hands on fitted level works, which is like a big deal when your opponent has been massing melee constantly. Even level 1 melee tech is good. And yeah, even bigger deals, Wham skipping on the melee attacks. Melee attacks matter a lot because of the double strike. It's doubly effective for Abbasids. Oh, burn power coming in. Louis now with the dive into the gold. Once again, trying to starve the Canadian out. But remember, Wham now already up to 40 hand cannoneers is at a stage where he can stockpile additional gold. Louis, meanwhile, just kind of feels like he's burning through his reserves constantly in this game. SWB's now starting to get taken out by the keep, but will be dropped eventually. Full push back behind the wood lines, behind the walls. Another keep drop coming in from Wham to try and stabilize here. I mean, at this stage, Louis' win condition is Sacred Sites. He's now reached that point where he should be going for the blocker. He can even afford to keep drop on them to make it easy to hold. And that would also resolve any worry of gold issues down the line, right? Because he'll keep stockpiling. Wow, being crippled at this stage. Hobbling through this late game. 87 economy. He has at least still got one marketplace up, but only 3 traders in total. Wait, where are the rest going? Oh, he built another trade post here. So 15 traders still in total. But they're not as efficient on that high ground. Castle oil is so... Well, there's a reason why we don't call it boiling hot oil. It's actually called lukewarm oil. I'm starting to think this has to be a Louis win. I thought for a moment there'd be a DC and like it maybe would have been a bit hard to justify the call 100%, one way or the other. But now that we don't have that DC, now that we're this deep in, I mean, it's kind of undeniable, right? Wham's army is definitely bigger. It's just, what has he really been able to do with that? This is like a classic reminder that size doesn't matter. Yes, the army number is bigger. But where's his win condition with this? You go to the left side, your opponent goes right side. You go to the right side, left side. You go down the center, he comes down both flanks. Right? Like, Wham's in a position where no move he makes is getting him a win. If it's DC now, would you give a win to Louis? I think so. Like, you can see Wham's reserves are drained. And he's just, even though he's got the quality army of hand cannon Ghulams, like, what is that doing for him? Yeah, his army value is higher, great. Right? That's like the discussion we had earlier that you could buy a 4090 or you could buy like a 7900 XTX. One's going to cost a lot more, but like, is it going to be an equal, oh man, you paid double for this, it was double the frames? No. It'll be more frames, but not as much. In this situation, it's kind of grimmer than that. It's like you've got double like the value in your army, but it has no value because it can't find a fight. And Louis, I mean, dude, these walls are so disgusting. Like, I'll give Wham this. He's like, I'm not the worst for walling. You're right. You're the second worst, like, as in you do it so much, right? Like, the worst for walling, the most disgusting person for walling, without any reserve in my mind, is Louis MT. Look at what he done to this map. It's like a freaking Picasso painting. I mean, Wham's defense force on the farms isn't working anymore. I think we're at the conclusion point. He has to be realizing it as well. Other weird dynamic with Ghullam versus Palace Guard is Palace Guard just dies so quickly, get replaced, right? Ghullam survived the initial fight in half HP, then die in the follow-up, and that is it. Curtains closed, a GG called, and a 2-1 victory for the Chinese Prodigy Kid. Sway for a moment there. Always thought we were going to have a disconnect and have to have a judgment call. What do you guys think? Was there a stage where Wham could have won this the last 15 minutes? How did Louis do this? Let me know what you guys think about Palace Guard in general. I still think it's a really controversial unit because when you get to this stage in the game, what the hell is your answer meant to be? Let me know what you think in the comments and I'll catch you all in the next chapter.